how quickly the tables have turned. Springboks go from being the out-and-out favourites to win the Rugby Championship to last on the table. They go from being number 1 in the world to number 3, all in the space of 80 minutes. Are All Blacks the new favourites to win the Rugby Championship, or are Springboks still the favourites to go back-to-back? As a Springbok fan, I'm still shook from the weekend, but Rugby needs this. Rugby Australia needs this. World Rugby needs this. And I think it's exactly what the Springboks needed as well. A little dose of reality, or humble pie as everyone is calling it. But how you react to adversity is probably what is going to define this Springbok team in the Rugby Championship this year. And you look at a team like the All Blacks, who are just quietly going about their business, licking their lips on their way to world number 1. First time in 4 years, I think it is. How good. What did you guys think of round 1 of the Rugby Championship? Did it live up to the hype? Absolutely it did. Who was your player of the round? What was your moment of the round? Probably know all of those answers already, but let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. So, shook. I'm shook. You, as a Springbok fan, you start questioning everything. Like, do we know how to play rugby? You come out absolutely firing in that first 20 minutes and get just smoked. There's no other way to put it. Springboks were smoked versus the Wallabies. Wallabies smoked the Springboks. And while I'm a Springbok fan, this is great for rugby. It's great to see just the bounce back or the come up of this Wallaby squad. Been building for a long time, have been through the absolute ringer. Like I always say as well, rugby is cyclical, if that's a word. It goes in cycles. Everyone has their good, strong patches, and then they have their weak patches. Like Wales recently, Wales went through a patch where they were winning Six Nations, Grand Slams, beating everybody, and now they've gone, or they've just, I think they're still in it. Some of their worst bits of rugby went 13 games without a win. South Africa went through it as well. At one point, we lost to Japan in the World Cup, have been through it, to come out the other side. All Blacks is probably the only team that hasn't, when they had their bad cycles, their bad is nowhere near as bad as anyone else's. But then they've gone through the cycles where they're really, really good, that 2011 to 2015. And some would say, or it is probably fair to say that they have dropped off since that. Because again, you can't keep going at those high revs for that longer time without a drop-off. Player changes, players retire, new players come through. It is how it is. This video is just more a catch-up of the round, talking a bit about it because, wowee, the pressure is all on the Springboks now, and it's on the Springboks to bounce back, but it's on the Wallabies as well to back it up again. Springboks will be up against it with guys like Siya Kolisi's out for 4 weeks, injured. Peter Steph-Toy, Kurtley Orense, Edward van der Merwe won't be available for selections versus Wallabies in the second test. So they're up for it. What changes will be made? While I'm recording this, I think the Springbok team will be announced really soon. But I'd hope to see guys like Damien de Allender come back in. Colby will come back in. Who do they pick at 10? Pollard or Sasha Feinberg-Gomozulu? Pollard is probably your safer bet. Bring him back in. I'd like to see someone like Kwagga Smith start with Marco van Staden to give you more breakdown threats. And it's just up to them to show now what they're made of. Can you go through adversity? Can you go through hell and keep going? That's the big one. They drop, also big news, they dropped to number 3 in the world, in world rankings, thanks to All Things Rugby on Instagram. Download the app, All Things Rugby, for this little graphic here. All in the space of 80 minutes. Springboks went into that game number 1. They're now number 3 after that loss. And All Blacks are number 1. First time in 4 years, I think it is. How good? How good's that? Good for rugby, shaking it up. And I'm sure that with the results, how that will go, world rankings will change a lot throughout the Rugby Championship. I think the All Blacks are quietly loving all of this hype, all of their tension, everything on the Springboks, so they can just quietly go about their work. They did really well with their first win or their first round win over Argentina. Remember, this time last year was a totally different story. All Blacks had just lost to Argentina at home. It was one of Razor's first games. And everyone was questioning all the hype, all the attention, everything was on the All Blacks, and now it's the other way around. And I think All Blacks, they like that. I think Razor likes that, and they're just going to go about their business, make their rotations, build nicely, building squad depth. I hope they make a couple of changes for the second test versus Argentina because they've got the squad to do that, and building for that Eden Park test and then that Wellington test, because we all know all roads lead to that, and I can't wait for it. This coming weekend will be a big tell around, or the results, not just this coming weekend, the results after this weekend that's coming, the second round, will be a big tell into who or how we're going to shape out, or who's going to be the favourites to win it, I think. If Springboks can bounce back massively and put out a dominant performance, it doesn't even have to be a 60, 50, 30, whatever, like a big score, you know what I mean? It's just a dominant performance, because we know that's going to be hard. If they can do that, then, okay, it was just a slip on the radar and we found our bearings. But even then, it's like, then you're straight into Eden Park versus the All Blacks. So, this is a pressure cooker weekend for the Springboks. It's probably the most important for the Springboks, the most important game the Springboks have played since the 2023 Rugby World Cup final, I think. I think so. This is it. The last time they played a pressure cooker game like this was probably the second test versus Ireland last year, and we know what happened there. They lost that one real late in the game. This is the next big one. Absolutely it is. Coming off the back of a massive defeat, need to turn it around, got a ton of injuries, the pressure's all on you, need to turn it around. The whole of South Africa expects a bounce back here. So does Rassie, and so do the players. And Wallabies will want to back it up. They won't want to be those one-hit wonders. They will come into this game with everything they've got. And All Blacks, like I said, just going quietly about their business. Argentina will still throw everything and the kitchen sink at them for the second round. But oh man, I can't wait for it. Like I said, the results of the second round will give us more of a picture of who's most likely to win the Rugby Championship. I think so. Big results, big weekend of rugby incoming. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time. Bye.